The coffee mug slipped from my hand, shattering across the kitchen floor. Sarah didn't even flinch. She continued scrolling through her phone, legs crossed on the couch like a queen on her throne. "You'll clean that up," she said without looking up. Not a question. Never a question anymore. I stared at the brown liquid spreading across the white tiles, watching it seep into the grout. 7 years of marriage, and somehow I'd become the help. When had that happened? When had I love you turned into do this? "Sarah, can we talk?" I asked, crouching down with paper towels. Her eyes finally lifted from the screen, cold and dismissive. "About what, Daniel? About how you're not making enough. About how you forgot to pick up my dry cleaning again. About how you're suffocating me with your constant need for attention." Each word was a dart, perfectly aimed. I'd learned to take them without flinching, but today something felt different. Maybe it was the tone. Maybe it was the contempt dripping from every syllable. Or maybe it was just that I was tired. So incredibly tired. I just thought we could spend some time together this weekend. Maybe go to that restaurant you like. Or, stop. She held up her hand like a traffic cop. "Just stop chasing me, Daniel. From now on, I decide when we talk. I decide when we spend time together. I'm tired of you following me around like a lost puppy." It's pathetic. The paper towels in my hand turned brown with coffee. I stood up slowly, my knees cracking. 42 years old, and I felt ancient. "Do you even hear yourself?" I asked quietly. "Excuse me?" Her eyebrows arched dangerously. "Nothing," I said, throwing the towels in the trash. "I heard you loud and clear." "Good. Because I mean it, Daniel. No more surprise date nights. No more can we talk ambushes. No more texts asking how my day is going. When I want your attention, I'll let you know. Until then, just exist somewhere else." I nodded, something crystallizing inside my chest. Not anger, not hurt. Something colder, clearer. "Okay," I said simply. She looked surprised for a moment, then suspicious. "Okay, that's it. That's it. You want me to stop chasing you? Consider it done." She laughed, a sharp sound without humor. "We'll see how long that lasts. You can't help yourself. You'll be begging for my attention by tomorrow." I didn't respond. I just walked to our bedroom, or what used to be our bedroom, and closed the door. I sat on the edge of the bed and looked around. When had I become a ghost in my own home? When had my wife become a stranger who treated me worse than she treated the barista at Starbucks? My phone buzzed. A text from my brother. "Poker night Friday, Ewan." For 3 years, I'd declined every invitation, every boys' night, every moment of freedom, because Sarah had made me feel guilty for wanting anything. That didn't include her, but she didn't want to be included. She wanted to be worshipped from a distance, approached only when she granted permission. I typed back, "I'm in." Then I opened my laptop and started looking at apartments. Not because I was leaving, not yet, but because for the first time in years, I wanted to know what options looked like, what freedom looked like, what self-respect looked like. Sarah's voice drifted through the door. "And order Thai food for dinner. I want the usual." I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. The old Daniel would have jumped up, grabbed his keys, and rushed to fulfill her command. The old Daniel would have asked if she wanted spring rolls too, just to see her smile. But that Daniel was tired of chasing. This Daniel was done. The first 3 days were easy, almost too easy. I woke up, went to work, came home, made my own dinner, and went to bed. Sarah barely noticed. She was too busy with her friends, her phone, her life that didn't include me. When she needed something, she'd text me like I was an assistant. Pick up milk, pay the electric bill, don't wait up. I did the tasks without complaint, without conversation, just efficient completion of duties. Like the servant she'd reduced me to, except now I felt nothing while doing it. By day 4, something shifted. I came home to find her in the kitchen, actually cooking. That was unusual. She looked up when I entered, and I saw something in her eyes I hadn't seen in months: uncertainty. "Hey," she said, stirring something on the stove. "I made pasta. Your favorite." I set down my briefcase. "Thanks. I already ate." Her hand stopped stirring. "What? When?" "At the office. We had a late meeting with clients, so we ordered in. You didn't text me." It sounded like an accusation. I looked at her calmly. "You said you decide when we talk." "I didn't want to bother you." She opened her mouth, closed it. then turned back to the stove with more force than necessary. "It's just courtesy, Daniel. Normal people tell their spouses when they won't be home for dinner. I was home at my regular time," I said evenly. "You're usually at yoga or out with friends at this hour." I didn't think it mattered. The spoon clinked against the pot. I walked past her to the bedroom to change. I heard the stove click off, heard her footsteps following me. "Are you mad at me?" she asked from the doorway. I pulled off my tie. "No, you're acting weird. I'm acting exactly how you asked me to act. Not chasing, not bothering you, existing somewhere else." Her face flushed. "I didn't mean you're being dramatic. I just needed some space. And now you have it." I folded the tie and placed it in the drawer with mechanical precision. "Why are you being like this?" I turned to face her fully. "Like what, Sarah? I'm doing exactly what you asked. You wanted me to stop chasing you, so I stopped. You wanted to decide when we talk, so I'm waiting for you to decide. What's the problem?" She crossed her arms defensively. "There's a difference between giving me space and acting like I don't exist, is there?" I asked genuinely, because from where I'm standing, I've existed like a ghost in this house for years. You just never noticed because I was too busy chasing you. That's not fair. Neither is being treated like an employee in my own marriage. Silence stretched between us, thick and uncomfortable. She looked like she wanted to say something, but the words wouldn't come. Finally, she turned and left, her pasta forgotten on the stove. That night, I heard her crying in the living room. The old me would have gone to her, held her, apologized for whatever I'd done wrong. But I stayed in bed, staring at the ceiling, feeling nothing but a vast, empty calm. Day 7 brought the poker night with my brother and his friends. I didn't ask Sarah if I could go. I didn't tell her where I'd be. I just showered, dressed, and headed for the door. "Where are you going?" she asked from the couch, her voice sharp with suspicion. Out where? Does it matter?" "Daniel," her voice cracked slightly. Are you seeing someone?" I stopped with my hand on the doorknob and really looked at her. She was scared, actually scared. Her hands were gripping the couch cushion, her eyes wide. "No, Sarah. I'm playing poker with my brother. Same thing I've been invited to every Friday for 3 years. Same thing I've always said no to because you made me feel guilty. But you don't want my attention anyway, so I figured tonight I'd do something for myself. I never said you couldn't have friends. You didn't have to say it." I left before she could respond. My phone buzzed continuously in my pocket during the drive. 12 texts, 3 calls. I didn't look at any of them until I was parked outside my brother's house. All of them from Sarah. "When will you be home? We need to talk." "Daniel, answer me. This is childish. Answer your phone." I turned off my phone and went inside. 2 weeks into my silence, Sarah was unraveling. It started small. She'd be in the same room as me, making comments that begged for response. "This show is so boring. I had the worst day at work. Did you see what Karen posted on Facebook?" I'd respond with or that stuff without looking up from whatever I was doing, reading, working, existing in my own space. She couldn't stand it. The woman who'd demanded I stop chasing her was now following me from room to room. When I went to the garage to work on my old motorcycle, a hobby I'd abandoned years ago because she called it a waste of time, she appeared 20 minutes later with a beer I didn't ask for. "Thought you might be thirsty," she said, trying to sound casual. "Thanks." I took it, set it down, and continued working. She lingered. "I didn't know you still had this thing. You never asked. Are you getting it running again?" "Yep, why?" I straightened up and looked at her. "Because I want to." "Is that allowed?" Her face crumpled slightly. "Why are you being so cold?" "I'm not being cold, Sarah. I'm being exactly what you wanted. Independent, not needy, not chasing you." "For how long?" The question caught me off guard. I wiped my hands on a rag. "What do you mean? How long are you going to punish me?" Her voice cracked. "How long until we're normal again?" "This is normal," I said quietly. "This is what you created." She left crying. I felt a twinge of guilt but pushed it down. How many times had I cried alone in the past few years? How many times had my feelings been dismissed as weakness, neediness, inconvenience? That night, she tried a different approach. She dressed up the black dress I'd always loved, the one she'd worn on our first anniversary. She made reservations at the expensive Italian place downtown. She stood in the bedroom doorway, perfume filling the space between us. "Get dressed," she said, trying to sound playful but coming across as desperate. "We're going out." I was already in sweatpants, my book open. "No thanks, Daniel. I made reservations. I'm trying here, and I appreciate that. But I'm not hungry and I'm tired. You go ahead." "You can't be serious." I marked my page and looked at her. "You said you decide when we spend time together. Apparently, I'm not in the mood tonight. That's not what I meant." "Then what did you mean, Sarah?" "Because I'm confused. For years, I've asked you to spend time with me, to talk to me, to see me, and you made me feel pathetic for wanting those things. Now I don't want them anymore, and suddenly I'm the bad guy?" She sank onto the edge of the bed, the dress pooling around her. "I didn't mean forever. I just needed. I was stressed, and you were always there, wanting something from me. Love isn't wanting something from you, Sarah. It's wanting to give something to you. But you don't want what I have to give. You made that crystal clear." "I was wrong," she whispered. "Okay, I was wrong. I miss you." The words should have melted me. The old Daniel would have grabbed her, held her, promised everything would be okay. But the old Daniel was tired. And the new one? The new one had learned something important in the past 2 weeks. I didn't miss her. I missed the idea of her, the woman I'd married. But that woman was gone, replaced by someone who saw me as a convenience, not a partner. And somewhere in the silence, I'd realized I was happier alone than I'd been in years of chasing someone who kept running. "I don't know what you want me to say," I finally said. "Say you forgive me. Say we can fix this. I do forgive you. But forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting, or going back to how things were." Her hand reached for mine. I didn't pull away, but I didn't squeeze back either. "Please, Daniel, I'll do better. I'll be better. Maybe you will," I said. "But I don't know if I want to stick around to find out." Sarah's panic intensified daily. She couldn't accept that I meant what I said. Couldn't understand that her control had finally broken something beyond repair. She started small, making my favorite breakfast, leaving little notes, wearing my old college sweatshirt to bed. Every gesture screamed desperation, and I watched it all with a detachment that probably should have worried me. "I have a surprise," she announced one evening, blocking the TV I wasn't really watching. "I booked us a couples retreat this weekend, the one you wanted to go to last year." I remembered that retreat. I'd found it online, thought maybe a neutral space with a counselor could help us reconnect. She'd laugh at the suggestion, called it therapy for weak marriages. We weren't weak. She'd insisted. We just needed to stop being so codependent. "Cancel it," I said. "Daniel, please. We need this." "No, Sarah, you need this. I'm done needing anything from you." She dropped to her knees in front of me, grabbing my hands. The dramatic gesture would have worked 6 months ago. Now it just felt like performance. "I know I've been terrible. I know I've taken you for granted. But I love you. I do. I forgot how to show it." "You didn't forget," I said, gently pulling my hands away. "You chose not to. Every single day, you chose to make me feel small, to make me beg for scraps of your attention, to treat me like I was lucky you tolerated my existence. That's not it is. And the worst part? I let you. I chased you so hard that I lost myself completely. I don't even know who I am anymore without the chasing. But I'm starting to find out, and you know what? I like him better than the man I was with you." She sat back on her heels, mascara starting to run. "So that's it. 7 years, and you're just done? Are you hearing yourself?" I leaned forward. "You told me to stop chasing. You told me you'd decide when we talk. You made the rules, Sarah. I'm just finally playing by them. I didn't mean forever. I was angry. I was stressed. I said things I didn't mean." "No," I said firmly. "You said things you'd been thinking for years. You just finally felt comfortable enough to say them out loud. Because you knew I'd never leave. That I'd keep chasing no matter how badly you treated me. And I was wrong. God, Daniel, I was so wrong. Please, tell me what to do. Tell me how to fix this." I stood up, looking down at her crumpled on the floor. "You can't fix it. Some things, once broken, don't go back together the same way. Maybe we can rebuild something new. Maybe not. But either way, I'm done being the only one trying." She grabbed my leg. actually grabbed my leg like a child having a tantrum. "Don't walk away from me. That's rich, coming from you." I gently pulled free. "I need some air." I left her there and walked out into the night. My phone buzzed immediately, of course. Then again, and again. I turned it off and kept walking. I ended up at a park, sitting on a bench under the stars. A couple walked by, holding hands, laughing about something. I felt a pang not of jealousy, but of mourning. That used to be us. Or maybe it never was. Maybe I'd been so busy chasing that I'd never noticed she wasn't running toward anything. She was just running. When I got home 3 hours later, Sarah was waiting on the couch, eyes swollen. "I thought you left for good." I thought about it, and I'm sleeping in the guest room. Tomorrow, we're going to have a real conversation. Not you making demands, not me chasing. An actual conversation between equals. If you can't do that, then yeah, I'm leaving for good. For once, she just nodded. That night, I lay in the guest bed and felt something I hadn't felt in years. Peace. Whatever happened tomorrow, I'd finally found my backbone. And that was worth more than any marriage built on one person's worship of the other. The morning sun came through unfamiliar windows. For a moment, I forgot where I was, then remembered. The guest room, my choice, my boundary. I found Sarah at the kitchen table, 2 cups of coffee already poured. Her eyes were red-rimmed but clear, determined. She gestured to the chair across from her. "I'm ready to talk," she said. "Really talk." I sat down but didn't reach for the coffee. "Not yet, okay, I'll start. Do you actually want this marriage, Sarah? Not the idea of it, not the security of it, the actual work of being married to me specifically?" She opened her mouth quickly, then closed it. Good. She was actually thinking. I thought I did. I thought I wanted independence within marriage, space, freedom. But somewhere I crossed a line from independence to cruelty, didn't I? "Yes, I'm not going to make excuses," she continued, fingers wrapped around her mug. "My mom treated my dad like you're describing. Like a servant. Like he should be grateful she married him. I swore I'd never be like her, but I became exactly that. Worse, maybe, because I should have known better. Recognition isn't enough," I said quietly. "I need to know what changed. Because you didn't wake up one day and decide to treat me like garbage. It was gradual. I gave, and you took and took. And somewhere we both accepted that as normal." She nodded, tears starting again. "After I got the promotion. Remember, 3 years ago. Suddenly, I was making more money, getting attention at work, and I felt powerful. And instead of sharing that with you, I used it against you. Made you feel less than. Made myself feel bigger by making you smaller. And when I tried to talk about it, I gaslit you. Told you that you were being needy, that you were holding me back. God, Daniel, I heard my mother's words coming out of my mouth and I didn't stop. I just kept going. I took a sip of the coffee. It was perfect the way I liked it, not the way she liked it. A small gesture, but it meant she'd been paying attention. Finally, here's what I need you to understand, Sarah. I don't need your permission anymore. Not to go out with friends. Not to have hobbies. Not to exist in my own space. That dynamic is over, whether we stay married or not. I know, and I need to see change. Not words, not promises. Actual, consistent change over time. Months, probably. Maybe longer. What does that look like? She asked. Specifically, I appreciated that she was asking instead of assuming. Therapy, both individual and couples. You figure out why you needed to control me. I figure out why I accepted it for so long. We both learn how to be whole people who choose each other, not people who need each other to feel complete. Okay, and honestly, I don't know if I can get past this. You didn't just hurt me, Sarah. You broke something fundamental. My ability to trust you. My ability to believe you see me as an equal. That might not be fixable. Her hand trembled as she set down her mug. I understand. And if you decide to leave, I won't fight you. I'll deserve it. But Daniel, I want to try. Not because I'm scared of being alone, but because somewhere under all the garbage I piled on top of us, I still love you. The real you, not the servant version I created. I don't know if I still love you. I said honestly, I love who you were. I might love who you could become. But the woman you've been for the past 3 years, I don't even like her. She flinched, but held my gaze. Fair. We sat in silence, the morning stretching around us. Finally, I said, I'm going to stay with my brother for a while. Give us both space to think. Real space, not the twisted version you were demanding before. How long? I don't know. A month, maybe. We'll do therapy via video call if we need to. But I need to remember who I am without you telling me. And you need to figure out who you are without someone to control. She nodded, wiping her eyes. Can I hug you? The question itself was progress, asking instead of taking. Yes. She stood and wrapped her arms around me, and I felt her shaking. I held her, but it felt different. Not like coming home. More like saying goodbye to something that used to be. I'm so sorry, she whispered. I'm so sorry. I know you are. But sorry doesn't fix everything. Time will tell if anything can. 1 month later. I sat in my brother's spare room, looking at my phone. Sarah's text, therapy at 3. I'll be there. No expectations. Just showing up. She'd been showing up. To her individual sessions. To our couple sessions. She'd stopped texting demands, stopped expecting immediate responses. She'd started seeing her own therapist weekly, working through her need for control. I was doing my own work too, learning that I'd enabled the dynamic by never setting boundaries, never saying no, always chasing. Learning that real love doesn't require constant pursuit. It requires mutual respect. Did I want to go home? Honestly, I still didn't know. The apartment felt peaceful, simple, mine. But there were moments when she sent a photo of the motorcycle she was learning about, so we could ride together. When she forwarded articles about healthy relationships without comment. When she respected my space without making it a punishment. Moments when I saw glimpses of something that could be rebuilt. Not the old marriage that was dead, but maybe something new, something between equals, something where neither person was chasing or running, but both were walking forward together. I typed back, I'll be there. Then I added, because I choose to be, not because I need to be. Her response came immediately. That's all I can ask for. That's all I should have ever asked for. I pocketed my phone and looked at myself in the mirror. The man looking back was different from the one who'd picked up coffee-soaked paper towels 5 weeks ago. Stronger, clearer, whole. Whether Sarah and I made it or not, I'd learned the most important lesson. I didn't need anyone's permission to exist fully. Not hers, not anyone's. I was done chasing. And for the first time in years, I was exactly where I wanted to be.